What if I told you that writing is about doing less, not more? Would you think I was crazy? Maybe a little bit. I know, it sounds kind of crazy, but we're actually about to dive into a little bit of a discussion on habits and writing and really just being able to embrace the writing process as a lifestyle, and a lifestyle that encourages us to be able to bless people with our words and with our actions in our life. Because writing is only part of the journey. Writing is only one fraction of what it means to be a creative person. And today, we're going to discuss just how you can do more with less in your life and actually create beauty by embracing this kind of a lifestyle. I can't wait for you to hear, because this is going to be an amazing episode. Hey friend, do you love the smell of books? Maybe you absolutely delight in the sound of a pen gliding across a page as you write. Hi, my name is Jian Rodriguez, and I am a Jesus follower, a writer, entrepreneur, and lover of all things boho and books. In this podcast, I want to take you on a journey of discovering yourself, discovering God and your passions, and how to make your life beautiful and so full that it overflows into the lives of others. And over here, we are not about compartmentalizing life. Oh no. Over here, we talk about holistically taking your life and presenting it as a place where others can be blessed just by knowing you. Are you excited? I am. So snag your favorite mug of tea or a pen and paper, and let's jump in. Because you're listening to Her Reading Life podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Her Reading Life podcast. I'm so thrilled that you are here and so thrilled to have you again listening. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Jian Rodriguez. I am a novelist and podcaster, the girl behind this podcast, and I'm so absolutely thrilled to have you here. Please feel welcomed. I really want you to feel like we are sitting down either drinking coffee or tea or something like that, just together and conversing and just kind of eavesdropping on these conversations that I have with fellow writers, or even just with myself whenever it's just me. I just want you to feel welcomed and feel like you're kind of listening into a writing group or community, because I feel like it's so essential. Writing can feel like such a solitary thing, and I want to make you feel like you're part of a bigger community that is together changing the world one story at a time. So again, I'm so thrilled that you are here. Today is the finale episode of our 3-part series with the amazing ladies behind the Voices of the Future Anthology. And I am so absolutely thrilled to be able to bring this episode to you today. There were so many lovely insights that these ladies had on just life and habits in general, because I feel like we don't talk about habits as writers enough. Like we talk about habits like sitting down and writing every day. That gets talked about, but actual lifestyle things like, oh, how do you actually get yourself ready for inspiration? How do you make the people in your life matter and make sure that you are treating them well? Because I know that it can be so, at least in my experience, it can be so difficult to not forget about those things, those little things about like making people feel loved and important and things like that, because we can get so much into our own world that we kind of forget about the world outside. But yet the world outside is your key to inspiration, is your key to finding that next great idea. And it all starts with your own lifestyle. So I'm so excited for us to be able to dive into that today. Definitely subscribe or follow this podcast if you're enjoying the content that you've been able to hear so far. If you haven't listened to the previous 2, I definitely encourage you to listen to those so that you have a little bit of context, but also because they were amazing. We talked in the first one, I think, about one exercise that every writer should do at some point in their life, because it can sharpen your writing skills. The number one thing, I think, for sharpening your writing skills until they really shine. And it teaches you how to be able to write succinctly and well. And then in the second episode, we talked all about the secret no one talks about to writing a great story that your readers can't get enough of. And that one was also amazing because, seriously, nobody really talks about that. I wish people would. And so if you want to listen to either one of those episodes, you can head over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, any of your favorite podcasting platforms. They will be available there. And ring the bell so that you get notified every time that a new episode comes up. And honestly, I'm so excited for you to be able to listen to this episode and hear the finale of my conversation with Abi Lyn Voss, Hope Jian, and Olivia G. Booms. All right, girls. Well, I am so excited for these final questions that I get to ask all the guests who come onto this podcast. And I love asking these questions because people always have the most beautiful, like, just answers to this. I love hearing what fills people and how they love to give out to others and what kinds of habits they have, just because it's so beautiful to hear like other how people like to create life and give life to other people and create life even in themselves through their daily lives. So I would love to ask you guys the first question: how do you guys live? So what are some activities that make you feel glad to be alive? So some people have said walking outside without headphones, or speaking with old friends, or baking. Abby, I'd love to hear from you. What is something that just fills you up?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I am obsessed with coffee shops. Even though I don't drink coffee, so I'll normally get like a hot chocolate or like a tea or something. Um, but I live like in the middle of a city. So one, I just love walking to the coffee shop because I love seeing people. And obviously as an author, I love people watching. But honestly, I find the greatest joy for me is that the people at the coffee shop now know my name. And so I feel so cool when they'll like, instead of calling like, oh, tall hot chocolate, they'll be like, order for Abby. And it
Oh,
brings so much joy to me every time. So that's like half the reason I go. It's just because it makes me feel very proud. It probably shouldn't make me feel proud that I've spent enough money at this one coffee shop that they know my name, but I love it. So that makes me happy. And whenever I need a pick me up, I typically walk down there.
I love that. Yes, I love coffee shops too, and I don't always drink coffee. I usually have decaf because I'm like I can't take the caffeine.
Yes.
um, but yes, absolutely, and I love that. I truly I love the fact that like it's so special to have somebody even like know your name, and they're like they know me. Like, wow, proud
Yes.
patron.
I know. I was the first time that they said it, I like ran all the way home, and the minute I got in the door, I was like, "Mom, they know my name." It was amazing. So
I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, how about you, Hope?
Yeah, so how do I live? I live mostly inside. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. Well, actually not. I actually do live inside a lot, but I seriously like to spend my time outdoors, depending on the temperature. I love to get fresh air and just sun through leisurely walking on like a local trail or enjoying a hike by the water. I also really enjoy other creative outlets like art, so I do drawing and things like that. And when I can, I really love to travel to other countries and experience their history and culture. I'll be visiting Japan in April, and that will mark, I think, my ninth country visited so far.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes, travel is the best. Like I feel like it just opens your mind up in ways that you didn't even realize, compartments that you didn't even realize you had in your brain. And it just fills you up with so many ideas, and I just think it's wonderful. It truly is. How many countries? Okay, so which countries have you visited so far?
Oh boy. I'll try. So England multiple times.
Jealous.
Mhm.
So England, France, Scotland and Ireland, Germany, Austria, China. What is that? That's 7. And I think I technically count Canada, even though it's like right next to us, but it's still technically another country. So
Mhm.
yeah, I
That's
think that's all of it.
amazing. I love that so much. I love that. Yeah, that's amazing. How about you, Livy?
Well, first off, I'm jealous because I've always wanted to go to Japan. Take me with you, please. I'll hide in your suitcase. Um, Second, with the actual question, Something that really makes my life so much better, which is slightly different, is autistic special interests, which is usually a lifelong interest in a specific topic that
Yeah.
brings intense joy, comfort, and motivation to people on the spectrum. And it could be anything. Like it could be Star Wars or taxidermy or collecting flowers in the woods and knowing every one of them by name. For me, it's actually house cats. So whenever I see my sister's cat walk by, it's like I found my soulmate. My day is automatically better.
Oh, I
So
love
yeah,
that.
it truly is the little things like petting a cat or seeing her yawn after a long nap or just the small things make it so much better.
That's so beautiful. I love that. And I feel like I think we could all use some of that. Like just having those little things that just brighten up your day for like no reason whatsoever really, but they just make you happy. For me it's like Snoopy's. Like I love Snoopy, so I have like a plush Snoopy and I have a
Mhm.
little keychain Snoopy and it just makes me randomly happy. I don't understand why, but it just makes me smile. And I think we could all
Mhm.
use like just a moment to be able to smile. Just something that just reminds us to smile. I love that so much, Olivia.
Yeah, I definitely have other things too, like collecting stuffed animals or organizing my books by color. It's the little things.
Yeah, absolutely. And your bookshelf looks amazing, by the way. Like I am
Mhm.
literally jealous because I don't have the concentration to get it into like a color coordinated thing, but it looks so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's definitely a labor of love. It takes way too long.
Yeah, it just makes me happy just to see it. I'm like, yay, I vicariously enjoy it. So yeah, I would love to hear, and we'll just do the same order. Abby, what are some things that just you love to do to bless and fill others? What are some things that you'd like to do to give out to others?
Yes. I love this question. I feel like, well, one thing that I love about my job is so I also work for the conservatory. Um, and what I love is that I get to like work with young writers and helping them, and getting like to brainstorm with them or just getting to help them or give encouragement on their projects. And so that's just that like fills me up. I hope as much as it fills them up, because it just makes me so happy to get to do that. And I think I'm definitely a words of affirmation person. So like one of the kind of examples that you had given before was like writing notes to friends. I love like texting friends just like, hey, like how are you doing? Or I was thinking of you. I definitely try to be better at like being more intentional with that because it's so easy when you get so busy. Like I'm actually the worst texter. I will leave text unread for a week or more. And so I'm trying to get better at that and be intentional with like scheduling calls with friends or specifically asking them, questions about their day or the people they interact with and things like that. So yeah.
Abby says she's bad at texting, but it's been a month since I've texted her back.
And see, I don't mind it when people don't text me back. It actually makes me a little relieved because I know I'm so horrible that I'm like, okay, there's a kindred spirit here. Like, we take our time. So, no, Livy, you are totally fine. No worries.
I'm just messing with you. I'll text you back in 2 months.
That sounds glorious.
I love it. Yes, totally. Yeah. I'm totally same here, words of affirmation person. So like it's just so precious to think, especially when people write like send me notes or letters. I'm like, you precious person, you took the time to write
Mhm.
something like out of your day, took some time to write something to me to thank me for whatever, or just to remind me that you love me. I'm like, thank you so much. And it's something small, but it means so much. And I think yes, it's totally. I love that you like intentionally try to take out time to spend time with people or to send people messages and things like that. And yes, it can be so hard with like the crazy fast-paced life, especially nowadays. Like it's so hard.
Mhm.
But the fact that you take time to do so is just so beautiful. I love that.
Yes, it definitely takes a lot of like intentionality when, I definitely am not always that way, but we try.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Hope?
Yeah, so I enjoy encouraging others a lot. That fills me up, and like kind of Abby said, like I kind of do that through text messages. I also like to share funny images or encouraging quotes, especially when I'm on Pinterest. I'll find funny things. I'm like, oh, this made me think of you, and like here's this meme or something. Um, and then something else is I also really love to sing, so I'm blessed to be able to do that in my church.
I love that. Yay. Yeah, I love to sing too. So I totally understand. Like there's just something beautiful that happens when you're able to sing. There's just something so beautiful. And it blesses people. It blesses you, but it also blesses other people in ways that you can't even like they're like, "Wow, this is great." I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you, Livy?
All right, I'm not going to sound original, but here I go. So, throughout my life, I've really come to value the power words have over people, both good and bad, especially through those times where I couldn't communicate what I wanted to and how painful that could sometimes be. So, it's really impressed upon me how much power we have over other people with the things that we say to them. So, I personally try and often fail to be uplifting and encouraging with my words, like saying thank you to someone, apologizing for something small, praising it, etc., etc. A single word or a single phrase really truly can change someone. And I want to keep trying to be the kind of person that changes others for the better.
That's so beautiful. I love that. That is true. Yeah, honestly. And I think that the beauty about giving out to others, whether it's in a big way or in a small way, whether it's just a text to say, hey, thinking of you, or if it's something like sending them a birthday package or something like that, like the heart behind all of it is to make people feel more loved and to kind of just be that light in someone's day, which I just think is so beautiful. You guys, like you, all of you uniquely have different but still beautiful ways of just expressing your love towards others. And I love it so much. I love listening to you guys. Fall is one of my absolute favorite seasons. Cozy sweaters, pumpkin spice lattes, warm colors, and cloudy afternoons devoted to reading just make my soul feel like bursting with happiness, especially with reading. And honestly, it can be so hard to jump back into reading for fun during back to school just because things can get so incredibly hectic so fast. Long books are just hard to read, which is why I absolutely love short reads that set me off to an amazing start, especially for this season. And if you are looking for a quick read to catapult you into fall reading, I think I may have a book that's perfect for you. Discover the next generation of storytellers with the Author Conservatory's anthology series, Voices of the Future, which weaves together short stories of truth, beauty, and goodness in 3 memorable and heartwarming collections, the first of which features award-winning stories written by today's guests. Not only does this collection feature book-loving dragons, an old man trying to capture fairies, and a family-owned tire shop, it includes other cozy tales of reconciliation and finding hope amidst trials. One fun fact about these anthologies is that 100% of your purchase goes to supporting young writers and helping them attend writing conferences where they can meet with agents and publishers. Experience the magic of this beautiful best-selling collection with award-winning stories today by grabbing a copy using the link in the show notes below. I don't know about you, but in my experience, book shopping can be both exhilarating and exhausting. Exhilarating because new books. Need I say more? But also exhausting because sometimes those books end up disappointing you, either because they promise something they don't deliver, ruin a story with unexpected agendas that really weren't necessary, or have content you just don't feel comfortable with. And I know I'm not the only one who's had to DNF a book because of one of the previous reasons. But what if I told you I could save you a lot of that disappointment? Well, I've got some exciting news for you. I've teamed up with bookshop.org to bring you my very own bookshop. That's right. You can now find all my handpicked book recommendations in one convenient spot, complete with content warnings and personal notes from me, so you can find the perfect book for you. Whether you're into gripping thrillers, heartwarming romances, or thought-provoking nonfiction, I've got something just for you. So head over to the link in the show notes below or go to bookshop.org/shop/Her Reading Life Podcast. That's bookshop.org/shop/Her Reading Life Podcast and discover a world of books that I absolutely love and know you will too. Supporting my shop not only gets you amazing books, but it also supports local independent bookstores. So it's a win-win. Don't miss out. Check out my recommended reads today and let's embark on some incredible literary adventures together. Hey there, listeners. Before we dive back into today's episode, I want to take a quick moment to talk about something really important. Reviews are the lifeblood of any podcast. They not only let us know what you're loving about the show, but also help others discover the beauty of living, giving, and repeating. So if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, here's a small favor I'd love to ask. Could you take just a minute or two to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform? Whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other platform you listen on, your reviews make a world of difference. By leaving a review, you're not just sharing your thoughts with us, but you're also helping us climb the charts and reach more listeners who might benefit from our discussions. Plus, it's a wonderful way to show your support for the content you love. So friends, if you're finding value, inspiration, or even just a good laugh in any of these episodes, please consider dropping a review. It only takes a moment, but it means the world to us. And hey, if you want to go the extra mile, share the podcast with your friends, family, or anyone you think would benefit from these conversations. Together, we can create a community of listeners who are engaged, inspired, and ready to take on the world. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get back to the show. Thanks for being the wonderful, lovely, incredible listeners you are. And as always, enjoy the episode. And so, my last question, Abby, what is one of your favorite ways to repeat? So, like habits that you're either trying to implement, because I think we're all in some way implementing some habit or other, or some habits that you've found really useful in your life that you've had for a while. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yes, well, I feel like I'm constantly like trying to start new habits. So, I definitely this question was like, I need to think about this. But kind of in like the same vein of travel, my mom and I actually went to France in November, which was really fun. And we were there for 2 weeks. So we really got to, be immersed in the culture and like get to know the community more. And I'm taking college French too, so I already love the culture, but it was like a totally different experience to just like be in it. And one of the things that I just loved about their culture, I promise this gets to habits, stick with me. But what I loved about their culture was just how work was not like their identity and like not what they prioritized every minute, like every day. And so, their meals are like 3 hours long because what they prioritize is being with people. And like, if like they kind of just leave their work at the door when they walk out. And that was just so different than a lot of the United States culture of like working and working and working. And so that is definitely, since that trip, I've just really tried to work on intentionally building more space into my day so that I'm able to pour more into community, or just take time to like have a longer lunch, like really eat and really make good food, or spending mornings like not waking up super early and jumping right into work, but instead letting myself sleep a little bit. I do love the French that they sleep in a little bit, but they also stay up later, which was a whole experience. But I love just that, like taking slower mornings, allowing my brain more time to like wake up and not forcing it to work right away because it already has enough struggles. I don't need to add more to it. And yeah, just really trying to adopt more of a daily like habit of just taking my time and being okay if not all the work is done at the end of the day, but knowing that like I took the time to actually take care of myself and actually just make sure that I have the mental space. So yeah.
I love that. Yes, that's so true. I didn't even like think of that as a habit, but that's so true. Like it's a habit that you like to prioritize what's really important. Like I do love that. I totally love that. And I feel like here in the States, we do sometimes prioritize work to such a degree that sometimes we neglect even the people like around us and our family and things like that. But at the end of the day, what's really going to matter? Are we really going to remember the time that we spent with people, or are we going to remember that maybe that 1 hour of work extra that we put in? Like what's going to matter the most? What's going to weigh the most in the scales at the end of the day? And that's so beautiful, like to have that as a habit, to think, okay, to prioritize, okay, people are more important than things. It's always
Mhm.
going to weigh out. There are people that maybe they do a lot for people, but if they didn't get to spend time with people, then what was the use? Like
Mhm.
at the end of the day. So yeah, I love that so much. Hope, I'd love to hear your thoughts on some habits that you're implementing or that you've implemented and that really have helped you.
So I don't think I can top Abby really at this because I felt like that was like really good and just like on like a
Thank
deeper
you.
scale and everything. So it's
Right.
kind of for
It's because
me.
I don't have a lot of daily habits, okay? I had to go deep or else I would have nothing to say.
Gotcha. So I think like for me, I try to make sure, and I think I've been really happy with. I have been implementing the habit of reading the Bible each morning, and I also keep a planner with things to do. I wouldn't like be able to function without a planner each day. Um, and I also post a daily like sprint to-do list on the author conservatory's community. So it's basically this list of things I need to do, and then people on the community can like join or just kind of even see what I'm doing as it can function as accountability too. And then I also definitely try to make sure I am exercising at least 5 days a week, either walking or walking outside or using the treadmill, because that really plays a factor in like helping me to feel good and all around just good health there.
Totally. I love that. Yes. And it is so tempting to just be a couch potato as a writer, to be like, "Oh, I'm exercising. It's just all in here, up here." but but it's so important to like be able to move your body and to be able to exercise and like get some blood pumping through your veins and things like that, because it actually does stimulate your brain more when you're active and moving around. And so I love that you prioritize that and make that a habit. And also to put God's word first too, and just have like take some time to read God's word and open his word and allow it to speak to you. It can get so easily like pushed aside. And the fact that it's a priority for you is just so beautiful. And I love that. It is a habit. It truly is a habit that we have to implement all the time and just keep up. But it's so beautiful when we do, because I feel like God totally shows up. Like when we show up, God shows up, and he really does help us to understand his word when we put him first and make it a habit. So I love that so much, Hope. And Olivia, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the this whole thing of habits. What are some habits that you've found really helpful or that you're trying to implement?
Hmm. Despite loving routine, I'm very terrible at keeping habits. One I am trying to make sure I keep is getting enough sunlight. It's just such a life improver to be able to go out and walk around, or even if I can't, getting that extra sunlight in some way. Um, I also make sure to pet the cat. Every day I pet that darn cat. I love her so much. My
I
life
love
is better with cat pets. And I also do journaling, which is really, really wonderful. Whether you have like, you're one of those fancy journalers or you just write some messy script on a piece of paper, it's really helpful and therapeutic.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes, journaling is the best. It really, really is. Um, I and sometimes I think in the digital age we're so used to writing like on a keyboard because it's just faster. I write most of my stories on the keyboard, but there's something special about just taking the time to just jot down, and especially with like a pen and paper, like old fashioned style.
Hmm.
Just write something down and just allow your brain to just kind of write whatever it wants to do without stopping it or anything like that. It's just so, I guess, almost healing too. Like
Hmm.
it's so beneficial, and I can't even think of the word. It's just it's very, I don't know.
Therapeutic?
It just makes it, huh?
Therapeutic? Like just
Therapeutic. That's
um,
the word. Yeah,
okay.
it's
Yeah.
so therapeutic and like just so it makes you feel so great. And yes, sunlight is so important. I feel like we totally downplay how crucial it is to just get out and breathe some fresh air and get
Mhm.
some sunlight. And I love that you make that a habit, which I totally should do myself. I love this so much. You guys have such beautiful, beautiful habits. And I think I'll be like adopting some of these for myself. So yeah, and lastly, before we wrap up, where can I guests find you and get in touch with you and learn more about your books and your future projects and things like that?
Yeah, so guests can I'm on Instagram where I'm most active under Hope Jian author, as well as Facebook and of course my email list.
I'm most active on my email list, and that's where you'll find most behind the scenes stuff about who I am, what I write, why I write, how many times I pet the cat a day. You can really find that out there. I'm also on Instagram at Olivia G. Boom's author. I'm less active there, but you'll still be able to find me.
Yeah, and so I'm also on Instagram at Abi Lyn Voss author, and I'm pretty active there. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm much less active there. But also Abi Lyn Voss, and then you can find signups for like my email list and things where I'm most active and most personal, with like sharing more of the behind the scenes and all of that, and more of what I'm working on. If you want to know how pitching's been going, that's where you'll find out at abilynvoss.com. It's a website that is still in progress, so but you can at least find all the needed information there.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on the podcast and just sharing your heart and your stories on your stories. Thank you so, so much. It's been a joy to have you. So, yeah, thank you so, so much.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
This was so fun.
Yeah,
Yes, it's been
a
an
pleasure
absolute
talking to
joy.
you.
Oh, I'm so glad. I've enjoyed this so, so much myself. Wow, it's kind of crazy to me that we have finally gotten to the end of this 3-part series, chatting with these amazing award-winning authors and short story writers. It truly kind of blows me away every time I finish one of these longer series because I think, oh my goodness, it's so long. And now I'm like, oh, I got to the end of it. That's crazy. And truly, it's been just so wonderful to be able to meet these lovely ladies and just be inspired by them. I honestly always love this part of podcasting where I get to meet so many incredible, inspiring people. And yeah, honestly, I'm so grateful to them, truly, from the bottom of my heart. But also, I'm so grateful for you listeners because if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do all these things and be able to meet these people and bring their stories to you. So thank you so, so much for listening and just always supporting. I absolutely love you guys and am so grateful for just your immense support thus far. Now, I did also want to let you guys know that I am working on some fun, new, exciting changes that are about to be coming your way. You might take a little bit longer to see it. It's not going to be next week or maybe next month. Maybe, I don't know, but do be aware that there are going to be some fun new changes that I think you guys are going to enjoy. And I am so excited for you guys to be able to see these new changes, but yes, I am so excited for next week's episode as well, and I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Until next time, friends, continue to live, give, and repeat, and I'll see you next time. Yay! You did it! I'm giving you a lovely big virtual hug because you just finished another episode of Her Reading Life podcast. If you'd like to access all the wonderful links I mentioned in this episode, visit my website at bio.site/Shira J. Rodriguez. That's bio.site/Shira J. Rodriguez. There you can access my blog posts, resources, and so much more. Also, check out my Instagram page for more inspirational content. And join my email list for insider secrets and exclusive updates on special events. The links are in the description box below. Also, if you could take a minute and leave a review for this podcast, that would be amazing. We're able to reach so many more people because of your reviews and ratings. I can't wait to chat with you next time, friends. Keep living, giving, and repeating.